Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Code My Way In. And this week, like you guys knew last week, I was having a difficulty trying to implement what I learned with Express and what I learned with Postgres into my project. So I went to the Code and Coffee meetup that I always go to, and I was able to sit down with two software engineers, and it was very helpful because they were kind enough to take their time to actually explain to me how to do it. And I told them I don't want the answer, I just want some guidance. And the funny thing is, let me show you guys. One, I think I was confused with what Express and Postgres did. Express is for the server, so I can do the routes, and the databases, so I can save the data. So I actually didn't know that I actually have done half the work already when I did this JSON file. When he saw it, he immediately told me, well, you already have a database. So all you have to do is literally just pass all this information into your Postgres, and just make sure you got your schemas right, just make sure you have your tables right, and you up and running. And then you'll use the Express.js so you can do the routes, and then that's how you will connect things. And I didn't even know that you could put image paths into the database. And he told me, yeah, you actually absolutely can. So what I was doing, before I even show you the database, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna make the routes with the Express, and I'm gonna put this information here into Postgres. But then I had difficulty trying to really understand how I was going to put everything in Postgres. And while it took me a little bit, but then eventually I figured out, okay, let me just make a graph, and through this graph I'm going to make the schema the main point here, and then from there I'm just going to do the tables and have like a visual before I even put it into my Postgres. And that's exactly what I did. So it came about with this information that I was going to have 5 tables, and one was going to be for vehicles, which was going to have the ID, the category, the model, the price, and the overview, which you can see here: the ID, category, model, alt, price, and overview. And then I was going to have a table for the images, as you can see here, the different image paths: thumbnail, image, profile, small photo, so on and so forth. And then I was going to have a table for the performance, which you can see here. Performance is the table, and then the values were going to be added into that. And then in addition to this, I was going to have a features, which was going to be this portion. And then I was going to have another table for specifications in order to make this happen. And then what I did was I just needed to understand that the primary key was going to be in vehicles, and then I was going to use the ID of the vehicle, and it was going to be the foreign key to each individual table here. So ID here is the primary key for vehicles, but then I was going to use it as a foreign key for images, performance, features, and specifications. And the moment I did that, it made total sense. So, and when you come here into the database, you go into the schema. I created the cars details, as you can see here, and then when you see the 5 tables, just the same way that you see it on the graph, you see it here. See? Vehicles. You get the point. So I did that, and I created and added the information for each table. And it's a little bit slow sometimes. So I was able to pass all the information. Let me move myself here so everything makes sense. I was able to move everything properly and make sure to use and as you can see here, if you see the constraints, you'll see the foreign key, and the foreign key is the ID. So that's why you'll see on every section how the car ID takes a part of the table that I'm working on. As you can see here, this is the features. This is the features, and then you see the car ID. But this is again the foreign key. And if you go to vehicles, it shows that the primary key is car's ID. And that's how you connect the different tables. You use the primary keys when using Postgres relational databases. So that's what I did, and I made sure to pass every information, every data correctly. And I actually learned a lesson here, and it was to, next time I'm working with a database, I'm going to do my best to create a way that I can actually pass it as an Excel spreadsheet, because what I did was I actually did this, guys, one by one by one. So it's 17 vehicles, so I had to do this 17 times for each section. So it took me some time between the deciding how I was going to do it, understanding how I was going to make it work, and passing this information. It took me like 2 days. So I lost 2 days in something that, but again, I can't blame myself because I'm just learning. But now I know next time moving forward, I will make sure to create a better structure when it comes to files that I'm trying to put into databases. That way I can just import it from my Excel spreadsheet and things will be a lot easier. But other than that, I was able to pass information from all tables, and then I learned something very cool, that I can actually, let me move here, I'm moving a lot, I can open my Postgres application in VS Code. Like, man, there's nothing you can't do in VS Code. And you download this extension called SQL Tools, and then you download something called like Roach. Where is it? Extension SQL Tools and something else. I forgot. But there's something else that you have to. I think it's called like Roach. But if you need to learn how to install your Postgres, how you can open your Postgres application in your VS Code, I recommend this video. It's called How to Connect Databases in Visual Studio Code. It's 12 minutes, but the guy goes straight to the point, and it's so easy to follow, and you'll be up and running. And let me show you how it looks. So once you download this and the other extension that you need, you go here. I already have it connected, but you would do it something like this. Yeah. Oh, it's called CodeRoach So you will download this, but you will use it will give you, once you install that extra extension, it will give you this, and it'll give you Postgres, but you'll choose Postgres. And once you click, the way that it works is you connect it, and when you connect the database, it'll give you this. Where are you? This like these settings, and it's nothing crazy. You just gotta make sure that it's the same port, which is already automatic. The database, you're going to use the database of your Postgres application. So I was having an issue trying to install it because I kept writing NissanDB, which is the name of the file, because every time I finish an update on my tables on Postgres, I immediately update and import it so I can have it just in case it shuts down, I have a problem with my computer, I can always go back to it because you don't want to lose that information. So when I was trying to install it and open my server, I kept writing NissanDB, which is the name of the file, but that's not the name of the database. The name of the database is Nissan Experience. So just make sure when you are when I ask you for the database, that you use the name of the database that you're using here, Nissan Experience. So it wouldn't be the file. It would be literally the name of the database, in this case Nissan Experience. So once you have that, the timeout connection, you'll put 30, and 30 just literally just means seconds. So what it does is you want to make sure that the application is going to, once you connect, right, and you put your username, which is usually Postgres, and you use your password that we will use in a couple seconds, it asks you the connection timeout. It just means that how long you want the database or VS Code to try to connect to your database before it stops doing it. So you put 30. 30 just means 30 seconds, which is more than enough time to connect to your database. If it's taking longer than 30 seconds, something really went wrong. So 30 seconds, you put 30, that's what it means. And then when you try to access your database, you go here. Once it's connected, you connect. It'll ask you for your password, the same password that you will use to enter here. So I can get rid of it because I don't need it. So once you connect, it'll ask you for your password. And boom, you click, and you're automatically in. Remember the tables that you guys saw earlier? Look at it, you're going to see them here. So you see here the database Nissan Experience, like I showed you. And then you open here, it opens your schemas. And remember, my schema is card details. So when I click, you'll see card details. And when you click card details, it'll give you a couple more folders. But what you really want is the tables. And the tables, here they are. Features, images, performance, specifications, and vehicles. How do we know that's true? Because that's what I showed you guys earlier. You see vehicles, images, blah, blah, blah. It transfers perfectly. So, and when you open it, you see the car ID, which is the foreign key. And you see for the rest of the tables besides vehicles, I added a primary key. But as you can see here, it shows you the car ID as the primary key. It even glows differently compared to the ones here. So this one, the foreign key has like a silver, and then primary key is a gold. So you're able to access it. You're able to put queries here. You're able to do whatever you do in Postgres. You're able to do that. You put queries. You can create new tables. You can do updates and stuff. So for like minimum little things that straightforward, you can use this. But I'm still more of a fan of the platform on Postgres. But at least you are able to do it here. And then when you want to disconnect, you go here, disconnect, you're done. And you're good to go. So that's what I learned with Express and my database. So I still need to create the routes for my database. But before I did that, I wanted to add something that I've been missing in my website, is the ability to make a purchase. So I still haven't, the goal is, so when you click this buy Nissan in whatever vehicle that you click on, I want that when you click this button, instead of taking you home, it takes you to a checkout page. And that's what I was working on yesterday. So this is so far what I have. I think I was working on this component, and this is basically what we have so far. So this is review your order. I decided to add that, the logo, order summary, and then basic information like the model, the category, the trim, the quantity, the price. And then I added this disclaimer to make sure when people go into a website, once it's completed and they try to make a purchase, I want them to know that this is a fake project. This is just for educational purposes, and this has no connection with Nissan. Like, I'm not trying to get sued. So I did that, and I thought it was like too simple. But the more I thought about it, like, you know what? It's just a shopping cart, and you see, I made sure it's responsive. You go see, look how nicely it looks. It looks, man, it looks almost real. Like, because I was thinking about adding like certain things to it, but I'm like, man, it's just a shopping cart. And people they just want to be in and out. I think here's where the magic happens. And once they get all the details of the vehicle that they want, once they click, they just want to, I think they have more than enough information to buy the vehicle. And I think the easier and straightforward that it is, the better the user experience. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. You guys think this is too simple, or you guys think that it gets the job done? So I did that, and now the next step is going to be to use Stripe. Like I told you guys, I have no idea how to use it, but I'll learn how to do it. So that's gonna be my homework for next week. And the goal is gonna be, when you click checkout, it's gonna take you to that section so you can make a fake payment. And once that is done, then my next goal is gonna be with Express, to make sure that I'm fetching the data from the database, and I'm using my routes properly through Express, and basically to have this implementation that you guys will see here. So I have this on my Twitter account. So this is the flow that I want, from user front end to back end to the database, from database to server to front end, from front end to the user. So that's the flow that we want to make. That's what I'm trying to create, what I will create. And yeah, again, let me know what you guys think about the shopping cart. I think it looks good. It gets the job done. It's simple. Because once you're there, you just want the person to make that purchase, man, as soon as possible. And the goal is going to be, once you hit that checkout, you go to the Stripe user interface to make the fake purchase, and boom, you're good to go. And yeah, I think, man, that's all I have for you guys today. So let me know what you guys think so far of the project. Any ideas or recommendations, let me know. And until then, see you on the next one. Peace.